Hey folks, I'm Matt, and welcome to the Good Trouble Show. This happened last Friday on Real Time with Bill Maher.
That applies to the Biden administration military
policy. I have one more important question I have to ask you. Illegal aliens. I mean the really illegal ones, the ones from outer space.
That's what my daughters want to know about. They're like, hey, you were national security advisor, you know.
Years ago when there were sightings of UFOs, it was some farmer in the middle of nowhere. Okay, now it's Navy personnel who say, look, we see this thing and we cannot explain it. Look, you're a military man. I'm sure you have drinks with military people, just like I have drinks with comedians. You talk shop. You guys must talk about this.
That was Bill Maher with former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. Bill isn't the only one asking questions about unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, otherwise known as UFOs. Congress is as well.
At the time, due to my extensive executive-level intelligence support duties, I was cleared to literally all relevant compartments and in a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
That was former high-ranking intelligence official turned whistleblower David Grusch, who appeared last summer before the House Oversight Committee. Note, he testified under oath, stating that the Pentagon has been hiding a few things about UFOs from Congress and the American people, not that the Pentagon would ever hide anything from us, right? I mean, there's burn pits, weapons of mass destruction, sexual assault, Havana syndrome. I mean, the list of Pentagon lies goes on and on. So Congress figured all of this out, and last year, Republican Senator Mike Rounds and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer introduced the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act of 2023, consisting of 63 pages of legislation on UFOs that would have forced the Pentagon, the Department of Energy, and the intelligence community to disclose what they have been lying about all along regarding UAPs, and trust me, it's a lot. Unfortunately, the act was defeated by House Republicans.
This is an issue that I think has caught the attention of the American people, and most certainly the lack of transparency on the matter, which is of real interest to a lot of the folks that have watched from the outside.
It is really an outrage the House didn't work with us on adopting our proposal for a review board, which of course, by definition here, is bipartisan in the Senate. Now it means that declassification of UAP records will be largely up to the same entities that have obfuscated their disclosure for decades.
The good news is that Schumer and Rounds have reintroduced the act, which the Senate will consider as part of a manager's package this week. So, what else did Bill Maher have to say?
Well, I mean, here's my theory, is that the president would have to know when you got into office, if there was Area 51 and this was going on, they would have to inform the president.
Bill, only some presidents have been read into this. Presidents Carter and Clinton were initially not read in. We found out early last year that H.R. McMaster's successor in the Biden administration, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, along with Biden's National Security Council, unilaterally decided not to tell President Biden about our nation's classified UAP programs out of concern for his ability to handle that information with everything else on his plate. And plus, I mean, you have to admit the guy was pretty old, so I don't know, maybe that was the right call, I'm not sure. President Trump, on the other hand, was briefed on this towards the end of his presidency.
Trump was president, he would have blabbed it by now.
Like Bill said, Trump does blab about pretty much anything, but when it comes to UFOs, any president cannot decide to blab about it. Why? Because doing so would be considered an act of treason due to how the government classifies UAPs and their associated special access programs. Part of the way UAPs are classified is within the Department of Energy under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. The DOE uses the act to classify UFOs as special nuclear material under what is called transclassified nuclear information. This classification falls under what the Department of Energy calls restricted and formally restricted data. This data, be it nuclear weapons designs, nuclear war plans, or UAPs, cannot be declassified solely by the president, but rather by a panel of government bureaucrats from the Pentagon, the CIA, and you guessed it, the Department of Energy. Trump, or any president for that matter, deciding unilaterally to disclose what he or she was briefed on regarding those classified UAP programs under the Department of Energy without approval from the panel would theoretically violate the Espionage Act of 1917, and we know what happened to the Rosenbergs. Let's get back to Bill Maher.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What are those things worth
Well, I mean,
looking
there are things you can't explain. I mean, there are things that cannot be explained.
Wow.
And so I don't know what the explanation is for those unexplainable things, but I will say that there are phenomena that have been witnessed by multiple people that are just inexplicable.
It is inexplicable that for over 70 years, the Pentagon, the Department of Energy, and the CIA have been hiding classified programs to reverse engineer crashed UAPs from Congress and the American people. Equally troubling is that around 50 unelected bureaucrats continue to exploit the Atomic Energy Act to bypass congressional oversight on UAPs, keeping our actual place in the universe hidden from you. This week, the Senate will vote on the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act as part of the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. Congress is prepared to hold the Pentagon accountable, but the media, the mainstream media, must also step up. We need more celebrities like Bill Maher, who I happen to be a big fan of, who actually had the guts to ask a former government official about UFOs on his show. The real question is what celebrity will step up to the plate next, because it's about damn time.